Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is a video response to the apostate prophet who asked a very good question. He wanted to know the who are the names. I mean, what are the names of those prophets that were sent to all the nations? Because according to Quran, Allah did send prophets to all the nations. He wanted to know the names. Now, how can I give him the name? You know, exact name. Because, for example, in China, in India, in Japan, in Mongolia, in Russia, what are the names of those prophets as they are now in current context? But let me try to give you a very logical sequence of how Allah sent prophets to all nations, you know. Okay, let's start in the beginning. God created Adam and Eve, and then after they sinned, they came down to the earth, and then they started to multiply. And one of the reasons why Abel was killed was because Cain was jealous, because Eve gave birth. Every time Eve gave birth was like in two pairs, you know. So Abel with the sister and Cain with his sister. But because there was the commandment by God that they have to cross marriage because of maybe their genes, you know. Just put it plainly that the twin of Abel was black, okay, and then the twin of Cain was white. So the white Cain killed the black Abel. Sounds logical, as in current context, it's always the white overrule the blacks, correct? So Cain killed Abel out of jealousy because of the commandment of cross marriage, okay? But then after that, Cain ran away with his sister and then start to produce, okay? Now let me start again. How Cain and Abel were the twins that received the commandment by God, because the first prophet was actually Adam. So throughout their upbringing, Adam, you know, after repented and then God forgive his sin, so Adam started to teach both of them about oneness of God and about heaven and hell, you know, and maybe about charity. You know, at that initial time, the laws of the commandments were not rigid as of in Moses, you know, like 10 commandments, I give you 10. No, at that time maybe only believe in one God and maybe do good to others. That's it. Maybe there's even no heaven and hell. So somehow then Eve gave birth again to another twins of twins, which every time Eve gave birth to twins, they gave birth to another race, you know. Maybe the next one to come out was Indian twins and the next one to come out was Chinese twins. Again, the same principle, the same procedure repeated. Adam will start to preach to them about oneness of God, about, you know, doing charity. Maybe at that time only two, you know, two commandments, you know. Maybe not about killing. We cannot be rest assured about those other commandments. But what is certain is when Adam started to preach to them about oneness of God, then those people, those children, when they grow up and they start to multiply, they by their own, you know, in their own family, they start to preach the same thing what Adam had preached them. So the same keep on repeating. So the next twin to come out was maybe Red Indian, and the next thing to come out was maybe the who? The blacks already come out, the white already come out, Indian already come out, Chinese come out, maybe Japanese, Mongolian, and you know, maybe the Malay start to come out. You know, you try to figure out that way. So when Adam raised them up, Adam preached them about the oneness of God, meaning Allah had sent prophets to all these nations, all these races. In that sense, that is the most logical way to answer Mr. Apostate Prophet. So Adam was not a Jew, Noah was not a Jew, Abraham was not a Jew. It was only through Jacob. In fact, Isaac also was not a Jew. It was through Jacob, Israel. Then you have those Jewish prophets, you know. So I hope that would answer how Allah sent prophets to all nations, you know. It began with Adam. Adam was the first prophet. So Adam started to preach to those Indian twins, Chinese twins, Japanese twins, Russian twins, Mongolian twins. Then they start to migrate out, live their own life, and started raise their own nation. At the same time, those who have been preached, they also preach their own sons. So they keep on preaching. So that is what is meant by Allah had sent prophets to all nations. The difference between prophets and ordinary prophets like Amos, you know, Isaiah, they don't have miracles, you know. They just prophets. They speak the words of God, you know, word of God. But unlike Moses, Jesus, Muhammad, Abraham, they have miracles. You know, Abraham was burned in the fire, but nothing happened to him. You see, and Muhammad can split the moon. Did Jesus raise the dead, or did Jesus raise himself when he was dead? Moses split the sea. Those are special prophets, different category of prophets. But ordinary prophet just speak to his people that about the oneness of God. Okay, so I hope this video had answered Mr. Apostate Prophet video. Okay, thank you very much.